Okay, so nobody really asked for it, but these are my thoughts on Octopath Zero. I've always been a pretty big fan of the Octopath Traveler series, and it's actually one of the first games that I got for the Switch, and I played it quite a bit. And I just enjoyed the spin that Octopath put on the JRPG battle systems, and I've always been a fan of the job class systems and all that kind of gameplay. Octopath 2 added more details, added new things, improved. There was the night cycle, there was more storylines, there was a lot of different things that they added, and this Octopath Zero seems to switch it up again. So far I've only played the demo, but there's still quite a bit to talk about. First step, we have the player character. In the other two games, you pick from 8 fully developed characters that already have backstories, they already have their look to them. This one, it seems you get to make somebody from scratch, or at least from kind of scratch. There's not that many options, really. I know it's only 8-bit, but there's only like 2 eye types, 8 colors, 8 hairstyles, and 6 skin tones. I understand that it's like an 8-bit game, but Stardew Valley had 74 hair options, and there's just like the color slider, so you can go crazy and pick whatever color you really want. After that, you get to pick from 3 different skills to learn. There's a heal, there's an attack, there's a debuff skill, and then you get to pick a favorite dish, which you get to name, which, with the voice acting in the game, I would have expected them to just have names for all these things, because that would have made it easier, instead of having the random blank silences when they go to talk about whatever dish you picked.
Here, I made some of your favorite.
Then you get to go to the belongings screen, which there's 8 different ones to choose from. There's some accessories and items that are pretty self-explanatory, but there's a few that are called valuables that seem important, but I have no idea. There's no explanation for what they end up doing in the long run, so who knows how that's going to help you out. I ended up picking up an accessory and 2 valuables just to see. I mean, there's a letter that's intriguing, and I picked the mushroom because my wife loves mushrooms. Honestly, that's what I went with. So then you name your character and you move on. Okay, so as for the story, I'm not really spoiling anything here, but if you don't want to know anything at all, go ahead and skip to the next chapter. It starts out, seems to be centered about the town of Wishvale. That's the town your character starts in, but the very beginning, we start out in some church that seems far away, and you know it's Octopath, and they're always talking about the sacred flame.
The sacred flame flickers.
Then we go to some other ominous castle, and 2 kind of creepy people are talking about wealth and power and controlling people.
Power, and the fear it induces, is the only thing that can control people.
And then an extra creepy guy with like a Dragon Ball haircut walks in. It even looks like he has a scouter on. So I guess these are the bad guys for the game. They seem to embody the differences of wealth, power, and fame. Then from there, you wake up in your little town. Your mom's telling you to wake up and go fight your dad, which is fun. Apparently, you're around the age of adulthood, and you go fight your dad and become part of the town watch, and then you run around, do some errands for people, meet up with your friends, a bunch of little small town life situations, and then this is the point where most gamers are looking at it and like, this is the calm before the storm. We're waiting for the ball to drop and something to explode.
What would soldiers even have to gain by coming to a poor little village like ours?
You get a fetch quest, you meet some random guy who has very big, like, anime main character energy. Team up with another friend, fight the boss. It's actually a wolf that I'm pretty sure my wife would love the design of it. Go back to town.
You're right. The priestess did say to come straight back.
Get ready for the festival, but you go to sleep, you can't sleep, you wake up, you talk to your friend in the middle of the night. There's, some foreshadowing.
But I don't want to stay here forever.
Then it's festival time, the festival starts, and then all of a sudden it's just nighttime now.
What the? Is that fire?
And then everything's on fire, your dad dies. The creepy guy from earlier comes and kills your mom, I think, or maybe she was already dead. Then he hides under the stairs and makes creepy comments about you.
Now that is good material.
So, you start fighting soldiers, then your friends interrupt you just to, join you after calling you crazy for fighting the soldiers. Restart the battle, go through that. Then it's time to flee and run away.
Come on! This way!
But everybody's parents are dying, and you fight more soldiers, and the anime guy shows up, and the whole gang splits up, and the town burns down, and time passes. It doesn't really tell you how much time passes, but time has passed, and you get to finish the character creation, I guess, and pick one of the 8 normal Octopath jobs for your main character to have, along with a passive skill. I actually checked to see the passive skills are just set ones. They don't change depending on which class you pick, so don't think too hard about it. Then from there, you go out to try and get the team back together, start rebuilding the town. You start with your childhood friend, and then you find some other townsfolk, and you find another team member, and then the demo pretty much ends there.
This is incredible, Stia. You're even better at this than I remember.
As far as any new mechanics and things going on, I mean, there's a lot of the same. You have the normal 8 starter classes that have been in all the games. Most of the weapon types I've seen are the same, although it looks like there's fan weapons, which are at least new to the mainline games. I'll touch more on that later. There's the experience, the levels, the JP job points for skills, and all those normal mechanics are in the game. The path actions are a little different. The other games, it's usually based off of each class, like the thief could steal things from people. In this one, it's all your main character has 4 different things that they get to do, and it doesn't seem like you get to choose what you get to do to each person. It's already set up. So you can either inquire, which kind of seems like what the scholars would do in most of the previous games. Then there's purchase, contend, and entreat, which are based off the ranking of wealth, power, and fame, respectively, of your main character. The purchase is just like the merchant skill, where you buy from NPCs. Contend is like the warrior skills, where you fight the NPC, but instead of them like joining your party, they just give you things. And then there's the fame, which it kind of just seems to be like the thief action. They just give you stuff. There's nothing else along with that. You just get some stuff. Now, I didn't play much of the mobile game, but from what I can remember, that game had the wealth, power, and fame stats, and it seems like I eventually did look up a little bit about it, and it seems that this is heavily based from the mobile game mechanics. The fans, I believe, were also something that was from the mobile game. I remember when I did play it, it had quite a few more weapons, or at least it had a couple more. I recently tried to start that game back up just to check into it, and it doesn't look like it's playable anymore. I don't know if it was taken down or what, but I couldn't connect to the server when I tried. So another thing that's new is, like, while you're running around collecting all the items and stockpiling a ridiculous inventory like I always end up with in these games, there's just more materials to pick up. Like there's actual building things, lumber, metal, stone, all that kind of crafting materials that you normally see in crafting games. So along with when you find treasure chests and all of that, there's just maybe a big chunk of wood sitting around, a bunch of new random building materials, and of course all of the building is new, because that wasn't anything that was in any of the previous games. From what you can do in the demo, there's not a whole lot. I got to build a couple houses. There's a few decorations to pick from. I was thrown off because you have to build a save station, which I spent a good deal of time looking for, because I just assumed it was something that was going to be hard-coded in and you wouldn't be able to move. But of course I'm sure it's something that's easy to do, to have the save station buildable. And then it seems once you start getting townsfolk and you start getting people in your town, they will just kind of in the background be gathering materials for you, so you don't have to sit it. I would assume that it's going to get to the point where you need a lot to build certain buildings, and then you're going to definitely need people to help you with gathering some of it too. The ultimate technique for your main character just seems to be a base heal for the party. I'm not really complaining about it because it's not a bad thing to have, but I thought it would have something more to do with what class you picked or who you picked throughout the class options or character creation. But it just I didn't see anything that where you could pick an ultimate technique, and this seems to be the one that you get. And one thing that I really liked, which seems like a new addition, is the elite enemies. It's kind of just like a powerful little mini boss in the middle of the map with some icons to represent their strength. It sounds like it's going to be some cool new mini boss things, and I don't know if they spawn more randomly or if they're going to be like set spawns that continue to respawn in the same spot. But I'm all for this. I feel like the boss battles and everything were the most fun parts of Octopath games, and it just seems like a lot of lead up to get to each one. So if we're gonna add some more boss battles or mini bosses to the game, I definitely approve. To wrap things up, I mean, overall I feel like I'm in favor of this one. If you like the Octopath games from before, then you're gonna probably like this one. It has the same base ideas, but it has a lot of new energy. I mean, I've always loved the 2D, 3D mixture graphics for Octopath, and there's also been a few little improvements with that. I don't remember seeing anything like in the background move that much, unless it was just like wind swaying a tree, but I've seen a couple just animals wandering around in the background, or at least moving around in the background. And also you get to talk to a squirrel at one point, so 10 out of 10 for just that. But more seriously, something that, I mean, again, trying not to spoil anything at all, but it seems the job system is a little more limited on this one, where you don't really get to pick too much about anybody's jobs or classes other than your main character that you start up. I think this is another thing that's coming from the mobile game. Again, it's hard to tell because that's the only one that I didn't really play too much of, but it doesn't seem like you get to switch much of anybody's class other than your main character. If I had to complain about something, maybe some of the voice acting.
You know, you're not a child anymore. Now, your father's already outside doing what he always does. You'd better hurry up, sleepyhead.
I mean, it's not obviously the worst that we've seen in gaming.
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But also the character creation in the beginning is a little lacking. Like I said, there's just not that many options. But neither of these things are really deal breakers for me. So in the end, I mean, I'm probably gonna buy it. I mean, you get, like I said, you get to talk to a squirrel. So if anybody wants to see some more gameplay or any Octopath Traveler content, leave some comments and I will continue doing so. Or maybe just some more reviews. I don't know. I'm just kind of messing around. Thanks, bye.